We carry it with us every day, either in our pockets or in our purses. But it might not mean anything more to you than the 10 cents that it's worth. Yes, I'm speaking of a dime. Today I want to explain why this dime means more than just 10 cents to me, why it gives me a hope for the future, and understanding that as we come together, we can create great things. Today I'm going to cover the nonprofit organization called the March of Dimes. I'll give a brief history about how it was started and the things that it has done during its time. Also, I will use it as an example of how we can come together as a people to do great things and maybe adapt our focus. The March of Dimes was founded by Franklin D. Roosevelt, who now is on the front of the dime. He himself was stricken with polio, an epidemic that was sweeping this country in the early 1930s. According to the NIH's website, it infected nearly 58,000 children at the height of its plague. The March of Dimes was originally called the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, but later was changed. In 1955, 25 years after it was started, scientists successfully created a vaccine which cured polio. But the March of Dimes didn't stop there. They changed their focus to helping us understand birth defects. Later, in 1958, switched its focus again to have healthy pregnancies. Later, in 2003, added the focus of premature awareness. What can the March of Dimes teach us in our day? And how can we adapt our focuses to overcome challenges that we face? There are many things that we face in life as a people. Many divisions that come across. Those may be party lines, race, education, our social class, and the list goes on and on. But as we come together for something greater, I know that we can do something that is amazing. The March of Dimes teaches us that we shouldn't shrink from the challenges that we face, but be willing to change as we overcome, and be willing to take on any task, no matter how great it seems. Now, you might wonder why I picked the March of Dimes out of so many great organizations that are out there. Why I chose them to be an example. It's not because I'm a volunteer for the March of Dimes, or because I'm an employee. It's because of the impact the March of Dimes has had on me in my life. When I was maybe 6 months old, I was at home with a babysitter, with my 2 siblings. My mom was out with my grandma, enjoying a nice evening away that I'm sure she really needed. Well, she came home and, to her surprise, found me in the back room not asleep, but not breathing. And I had not been breathing for who knows how long. My body was purple. Through great effort between her and my grandmother, they brought me back to life. And for the next 6 months or so, I spent time in the NICU, which stands for the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, which surprisingly was started because of the March of Dimes. Well, after my 6 months, I left the hospital, and not only was I healthy and happy, but there was a large medical bill, somewhere near $100,000. My mom was recently divorced and had no way of paying that bill. But through the great generosity of the March of Dimes, they footed the bill. They paid that nearly $100,000 bill, which not only helped me then, but I'm sure helped my mother. We've covered today the history of the March of Dimes, some of the challenges they've overcome, and the impact that they've had on my life, and I'm sure countless others. I want you to think of the way that you can have an impact on someone's life, the way that you can, through your efforts, either through volunteers or donations to any organization, come together in unity to help the greater good. I finish with a quote from Benjamin Franklin that emphasizes this need of unity. He said, "We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separate."